Good morning, good morning. Gee, it's great to start your day with coffee with Karma today. Good morning. And this is Karma with Coffee with Karma. And apparently uh my reactions are up on. I didn't turn them off. Oh well, that's okay. We can have reactions. Reactions are good. They're kind of fun. So hi, my name is Carma Spence, and I help entrepreneurs write a lead attracting book in 90 days or less. And today I'm going to talk about 5 key metrics that you can track to help you not only monitor the success or lack thereof of your book, but when you see something dipping, you can now fix it. You can figure out, okay, this isn't working. I need to pivot. If you're not tracking things, you're not going to know that. And so your book just ends up doing whatever it does. And sometimes that's successful and sometimes it's not. But if you're tracking key metrics, then you are taking control of your sales and are able to pivot when you need to, change things up when you need to, push things through when you need to, all that good stuff. So, metric number 1, and this one's kind of a no-brainer, obvious one, sales. You want to track your sales numbers. Now, how do you do that? If you've got your book on, Amazon through KDP, you go into your KDP account because there's 2 well, actually, there's 2 places you can track this. Your KDP account is the number 1. It's got a report area, and you can check on sales last month, this month, the other month. That's where I'm going to track the sales of my books this year so that I can track, is this experiment working? Because I'm writing a book a month, and I've decided to do that because I want to do this experiment to see if it increases my royalties because I've heard that it can. So how do I do it? I go into KDP. Author Central also has a place for you to track some sales numbers, but it's not as detailed. But it does give you the numbers a little bit more overall, although it's still primarily your sales in Amazon. Now, if you have your books listed elsewhere, most places will have a place for you to go look at reporting. I believe Smashwords does. I believe Nook does. Amazon definitely does because that's the one I lean on. Another way to sort of secondarily track sales is to track your royalties. And that's the second thing, royalties and revenue. How much royalties are coming in? Now, in general, you receive royalties 3 months after the sale. So, I just got paid this month for sales I made in October. And so apparently October was a good month because it was a higher royalty than usual. So, that was kinda nice. Yay. I do both. I track both this I like to know what my royalties are gonna be and when I'll get them. So I go into so at least for this experiment, I just started doing this last month. I go into KDP at the beginning of the month, check my sales for the previous month, and write it down on a spreadsheet and track when I get that payment. So that's how I was able to get the data for all of 2023. And I did that because I wanted to compare my sales for 2024 because now I'm going to be releasing a book a month. Also, if your back end sales have an uptick, that's something you can track for royalties and revenue as well. So then you know, okay, my book is working. The book funnel that leads them to buy more stuff from me is working. If you are noticing that even though your book sales are going up, your back end sales are not, something's not working. And then you need to pivot and figure out what sometimes it's really easy to know what's not working. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of experimenting and change individual variables until you find the one that's not working. Number 3, reviews and ratings. These don't necessarily impact directly your income, but they do impact your income indirectly because Bad reviews reduce future sales. So you wanna track your reviews, and if you suddenly start seeing a downtick in reviews, what's wrong with the book? Is it the messaging? Did you change your? Because I change out my description, like, every 6 months just to see if that gives an uptick in sales, and it often does because it changes the SEO. Um, if your change in book description also changes the type of reviews you're getting, then your book description's probably off. Your messaging's probably off. So these are different things you can check to, improve sales, understand what causes sales to dip, things like that. Another metric number 4 is website traffic. More than likely, you've got your URL on your book somewhere, right? So, is your book driving traffic to your website? And is your website driving traffic to your book? So sometimes it's a little hard to discern those 2 things, but if you're tracking regularly over time, the patterns become a little more obvious. This is traffic being brought in by my book. This is an increase in sales brought on by increased traffic to my website. So if you're tracking both website traffic and book sales, sometimes you can see where, oh, these both upticked pretty much at the same time, maybe just slightly off. Then you know that they're related and you're doing something right. And finally, the fifth one is social media engagement. As you become a more well known, more visible author, you will start seeing an uptick in engagement with your social profiles. You'll get more friend requests. You'll get more people commenting on your posts. All these things. So again, tracking them over time is always a good idea because as you track all these metrics over time, you can see how they interrelate with each other. And that way, it's easier for you to tell, okay, this is where something's broken and I need to fix it. This is where I need to pivot. And it's because you're watching all these metrics simultaneously and how they interact with each other. Now, how do tracking these metrics make you a bestseller? In several ways. Okay, so way number 1 is when you see sales dipping, you fix it, you increase sales. Increased sales can lead to bestseller status. 2, you start learning what works for your audience and what doesn't in the way of messaging. And therefore, if you can either do another launch with better messaging, or you can write a different book with better messaging. This is all helping you hone and fine tune your messaging so that it better speaks to your audience. And when you do that, you can write a bestseller. There you go. There are your 5 key metrics to track your book's success and to help you become a bestseller. A repeat bestseller is even better. And this is Karma with Coffee with Karma saying, ciao for now.